Welcome, folks. We are thrilled to have you back here for our monthly speaker series. And this month, we are being joined by Tammy Parent of the Lanark County Food Bank. Now, I do know that the Lanark County Food Bank, number one, is an absolutely fantastic organization because they are the one who really serves the rural areas of Lanark County more so than our town hubs and so on. We know that particularly from that accessibility standpoint, if you live in the country and you don't have transportation to get into the food bank, this is literally your one option in terms of how you're able to access that. I know that Tammy's going to be talking about the absolutely amazing volunteers that really make all of this possible, but we're thrilled to have you here. And if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, we would love to hear it, Tammy.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for having me. As was mentioned, I'm from the Lanark County Food Bank. I am the manager at the food bank, and I'm the only paid member of the food bank. We have 160 volunteers that help us run the organization, and they do everything from serving the customers to delivering to the customers, stacking our shelves, receiving donations, whether monetary or food. They help us manage our garden that we have in Blakeney. We've got a 2-acre property in Blakeney that we run every summer. We've got about 40 of those 160 volunteers are actually Blakeney garden volunteers. So we've got a ton of people helping us achieve our goals, and we couldn't be more thrilled with the support from our community. So shall I just jump right in with my presentation?
Absolutely.
Okay, so no fancy PowerPoint presentation or anything like that to worry about today. It's just a conversation about who we are and what we do and how we may be able to help some of the folks that you all are dealing with. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about us. So at the Lanark County Food Bank, we serve more than 1,300 people every month. And the staggering statistic, which I'll mention some others after, but the staggering statistic attached to that piece of information is that 38% of those are children. So we're seeing mom and dad, but we're also seeing mom and dad and 3 and 4 and 5 kids coming into the food bank that are needing our support. Our territory is giant. It's 770 square kilometers. So if you can get your head around that, it's actually, our territory extends from south of Franktown through Beckwith, Carlton Place, Mississippi Mills, and up to and including White Lake, and then from Ashton across to Innisfil. So it's a pretty giant area, and thankfully we have lots of volunteers to help us reach out to all of those different communities. So knowing that we're a charity, it's also important to know that we're a business, and we still have to pay rent, heat, hydro, water, phone, internet, repairs, and all of those wonderful things. So the hardest part of all that is that we don't receive any government funding. Our community is an amazing community, and they come together and they donate. So whether that's individuals that are donating or organizations and businesses, all of our funding is received through private donations. So a lot of people, when we have meetings and discussions like this, the most stunning part of the information that we share is the fact that there is no government support. And what we really need from the government is to step up and offer better programs and better amounts to people like our clients on ODSP, Ontario Disability Support, and offering affordable housing and all of those sorts of things. So there's way more that they can be doing. And our provincial and our national boards, Feed Ontario and Food Banks Canada, are always advocating on our behalf to work with the government to try to bring our issues forward and try to get them to make better decisions to help us. So what would you expect if you came to the food bank, excuse me, for the first time? So when you visit the food bank, you'll be greeted by me. or my replacement. And we basically assess the situation and ensure that we can support the clients the best possible. So this involves a preliminary few questions about the size of the family, special diet requirements, and that sort of thing. And then we get personal information, and then we set clients up for an appointment. So when clients come in, we generally ask for identification for everybody in the family and proof of address. And we ask them to bring their shopping bags. So we say, you need ID in your shopping bags and you're going to be good to go. Now, we can serve customers without ID or proof of address. We require it, we say we need it, and we hope to have it, but we don't turn anybody away if those pieces of ID are not available. We still serve everybody that identifies themselves as being hungry. And we're a needs-based food bank. So it's based, instead of an income-based food bank, we say that as long as you come to us and identify through conversation that you have a need, then we serve you. We don't ask people how much money they make or what their any sort of income or resources that they have. We don't judge, and we simply serve when someone says they have a need. So how it works is once a month, our clients get to come in for 5 days worth of food. They select items from our shelves based on the number of people in their family. And of course, we offer seasonal offerings as well, mostly from our community garden in Blakeney, but also through donations from people who have, let's say, grow a row in their garden, and they bring us their food in the summer. Now, typically, a shopping cart will include things like milk, bread, eggs, cereal, juice, meat, school snacks, things like baked beans, pasta sauce, canned soups and stews, canned fish and meat. And then it also includes things like canned fruit and veggies, but it also includes fresh fruit and veggies, which we're very proud to be able to offer. It also includes rice, cheese, yogurt, meat, peanut butter, coffee, tea, toilet paper. So everything that you would need in your home and on your grocery list are what the clients get to choose from our shelves. We even have things like baby food and diapers and other household items like shampoo and dish soap when available, and also all through donation. Excuse me, and pet food as well. And again, we're a needs-based, so clients just come in and tell us they have a need, and we get them set up. Now, one of the staggering numbers is that when we tally up all of those things that our clients get and put a dollar figure to it, it's about $350 to $400 worth of food that they get in their one monthly visit. So it's quite significant. Clients are asked to call ahead to make an appointment. Sometimes they choose to email instead, which is also acceptable. Not only do we do the monthly visits once a month, but we also offer the opportunity for our clients to come in twice a month, 4 times a year. And that basically means that 4 times a year, they can come in twice a month, and we consider that an emergency visit. And it just means that 4 times a year, we're giving them a little extra boost. Maybe there was not enough money at the end of the month after all of the bills were paid, and we allow them to do that. And then we offer weekly top-ups as well. So customers can come in once a week for a quick visit. They get to get things like milk, fruits and veggies, and then we have some random shelves on our pet food shelves. So one of the reasons we put this weekly top-up in place was we were finding clients were coming in or calling and saying, I just need milk and I just need pet food. I don't need a whole order right now, but I just need milk. I just need pet food. We were hearing the same thing over and over again. So we put that weekly top-up in place so that they could get that extra milk and pet food once a week. And we've recently added fresh fruits and vegetables to the weekly order as well, especially in the summertime when we're overflowing from our garden produce. We want to make sure that we're getting as much fresh produce into the hands of our clients. So it's proven to be a very popular resource. Other services, and I think as mentioned at the beginning, we do a delivery service. So even throughout that 770 square kilometers that we serve, we do home delivery, and that's right out to White Lake or into Ashton or Innisfil, right to the client's homes. So they call and identify a need for delivery, and we find a spot in our schedule. I then schedule one of our 30 drivers, and we pack the order for them with a few conversations with the client, so we know whether they like coffee and that sort of thing. We don't want to send them with tea if coffee is their vice every morning. So we want to make sure we ask some of those key questions, and we put together an order, and then we deliver it right to their home. And in some cases, clients are physically unable to carry their own groceries and that sort of thing. So our clients are happy, or sorry, our volunteer drivers are happy to walk the groceries right into the client's home if that's necessary. Some of the other services that we offer that are a little bit outside of our food offerings are things like cooking classes. We've got a cooking program that we run with Ian from the Black Tartan Kitchen. And we also have a meal to go, which is a new program we put in place a few months ago. And it's for our Almont folks. Most of our clients come from Carleton Place, and the second highest area is Almont. So we've put a plan in place so that clients who can't make it to us in person for a weekly top-up can go to a church in Almont and pick up what we call a meal to go. And it's in conjunction with a free breakfast that's offered on the same day every Thursday morning. I believe it's the Presbyterian Church on Church Street. And it's basically a bag of food that they can take home and prepare. So it might include a box of cookies, and then a bag of pasta and a bag of pasta, or a jar of pasta sauce, or it might have a box of pancake mix and syrup for a breakfast meal, and that sort of thing. So it just takes place of that. It's in place for the folks who can't walk to the food bank and pick up their weekly order. So we put that in place, and that's been popular. And then we also partner with other agencies to provide programs like backpacks for kids. We do Christmas stockings for adults. We have a program where clients get to receive Christmas stockings thanks to the donors in the community who prepare Christmas stockings and bring them in for us. And then we also work with the Christmas hamper program folks to make sure that all of our clients know about the opportunity to get a Christmas hamper and angel tree programs as well. Okay, so I'm going to finish off with some statistics. Might be a little interesting and surprising to some of you. So we buy local, and that a little something aside from the statistics, but we do get support from outside the community. So we get support from people like Costco in Ottawa and Cobb's Bakery in Ottawa as well. But when we buy our food, we stay local. We don't go to Costco to save money, because we want to support local, because that's who's supporting us. So we make sure that we spend our money in our own community. And on average, we can provide one meal for about $1.50. The number of people that we feed each month has increased by 92% over 2021, which is ridiculously high. And if we bring it closer, it's 45% over 2022, when these are our 2023 numbers. The cost of food, both purchased and donated, increased by 71% over 2021. And again, if we bridge that, shorten that gap, 45% of that over 2022. And I did mention already that we don't receive any levels of support from the government. In December, we provided enough meals for 13,731 meals. Every pound of food that's donated has a value of $3.52. And this is a value that our national supporter, Food Banks Canada, provides us on an annual basis. And I think I've already mentioned that hamper that we provide for folks once a month is somewhere between $350 and $400. And over 50% of what we offer to our families is fresh, perishable foods, again, like milk, eggs, cheese, yogurt, margarine, fruits, and vegetables. So when I was first having the conversation with your organization, we talked about, how we could support clients with neurodivergent or neurodivergent individuals. And we just wanted to go over, wrap up with this, I guess, is a couple of things that we feel we can do to help clients who may come to us and have neurodivergent issues that they have to cope with. So the first thing is, it's a pretty social environment when you come to the food bank. Clients get to go through with the volunteer and they're assisted in their shopping experience. They make their own choices. I forgot to mention that it's an opportunity. It's like a grocery store, I guess. And the clients get to go in and make their own choices. And they're assisted by a volunteer. And so there's lots of chit chat and conversation and friendships made. But one of the things that we could do for neurodivergent individuals is we could schedule them either the first client, so there's nobody ahead of them, or the last client of the day, so that there's nobody behind them. So sort of establishing a bit of a quieter environment. We also play music, so we like to be festive and have music playing. So at that time, when serving a neurodivergent individual, if it was suitable, we could turn the music down or turn the music off for the time that they're with us. I know that one of the things mentioned was the ability to maintain appointments. And that's something that we do work with, is booking by appointment. We could easily have several reminders sent out or reminders by phone for the folks that come to us. And then we do allow the clients to make their own selections, but if making the selections on their behalf would improve the experience, then we could certainly make adjustments to our services in that way. And then as well, for people who have a difficult time maintaining appointments, we can bring our delivery service into place. So maybe if getting here or getting to us is difficult, maybe we can offer a delivery service and get to them instead. So those were sort of some of the notes that I had put together, thinking that ways we may be able to help neurodivergent individuals have a more successful experience. Any questions?
So is it just Carlton Place? Is that where your main office is, or is it?
Yeah.
Do you have something in Elmont or as well?
So we just have the one office in Carlton Place, and then we've put that plan in place. The meal to go is based out of the Presbyterian Church for them to pick up their weekly package if they want. But yeah, the main operation is out of Carlton Place.
Same location as it's always been? You haven't moved or anything?
We moved about 3 years ago, so we're at 84 Mill Street. I'm trying to remember what it used to be. It used to be Algonquin College. It used to be a whole bunch of different things. There was a restaurant there, I think, at one time. So it's actually one block over from where we used to be on Allen Street. So it's right off of Bridge Street. We're close to the town hall. Very easy to find.
Tammy, I was curious over when you started, what year you started, and how did you decide that this area needed a food bank? I know that's kind of a no-brainer, but just how did you collect data? Did you do any kind of informal research around that, or was it just you were aware of hunger in the community? How did you come to be?
So I've been with the food bank for just under 5 years, and our food bank is 30 years old. So although it's a great question and I wish I had the answer to it, I have to say that I don't have the answer to that because I wasn't around. I do know that our need has grown unbelievably, as I mentioned in the statistics. So when we first started out, it was a very, very small operation, and we've had to move several times because our need kept growing, and our space was never big enough. So we finally found a space that I think is just about what we need, and hopefully we'll be able to stay there for as long as we're needed. And when we celebrated our 30th anniversary this year, it was a bit of a bittersweet celebration because we're really pleased what we've been able to offer, and we're proud of what we've been able to offer to our members. But we wish we didn't have to be here. right?
Wow.
So it's when the food banks first got up and running and the need was in the community, it was supposed to be sort of a short-term emergency experience. And unfortunately, it's become sort of a long-term need and a growing need that we don't see the end in sight anytime soon,
It's a
unfortunately.
great space. It's a great space, very welcoming space for
Yeah.
sure.
Thank you. We worked hard to achieve that.
Yeah.
Does anybody
Hi,
else?
Tammy.
Hi.
I'm Diane, and I do volunteer at the food bank in South Grenville, which is part
Okay.
of Prescott, part of Cardinal, part of Spencerville.
Okay.
So pieces of our organization support rural as well. I'm just wondering if you are attached in any way to developmental services or mental health agencies. Because in Grenville, we've done some of that because they have some social hubs at those two organizations.
Okay.
It's not often, but if we come into some excess of, the very gracious community that we live in too. Down there, we've got a giant tiger warehouse. So they're phenomenal at offering support to us. But it's just a suggestion. We don't do it weekly, but we do have attached ourselves to those kind of centers where, it's kind of a drop-in hub.
Right.
And you might, not that you maybe need to or want to, but you might find more clients or educate more clients.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't say that we're associated or attached to any organizations like that, but we try to have partnerships with as many organizations as we can where we know that there are clients at those organizations that are going to be in need and want to know about our services. So we try to spread the news about who we are and what we offer the best that we can, and try to reach out to a lot of the different, even the different just lost my words, the Good as New and the Cheerful Giver, the organizations, the secondhand stores and that sort of thing, that reaching out to them and making sure that they know that we're available and tell the clients. And we often hand out flyers with information about that to our new guests so that they know where the food or the free clothing bank is and the secondhand stores are and the hub in Almont and that sort of thing. So we try to connect them to those organizations, and we try to have relationships with those organizations to make sure that they know they can send clients our way as well.
No, that's good. Thank you, because I can draw some of those ideas and carry them back too. Thanks, Tammy.
Awesome. You're welcome.
Hi, Tammy. My name's Karen, and I just wanted to comment on how supportive and lovely your language is. I'm hearing words like customer and client, and your language is just so welcoming and honoring, and I wanted to acknowledge that and thank you for that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We really love what we do, and we don't judge, and we welcome with open arms. And we're so proud of that, that offering that we have. So it's lovely that you've taken time to comment. Thank you. So kind.
I know there's no stupid questions, but why aren't the levels of government stepping in and kind of support?
Yeah, if we knew, we'd be in a better place, and
Wow. Unbelievable.
it's like it's not on their radar, and when COVID hit, Prime Minister Trudeau went on a news broadcast and said, go support your food banks, go support your food banks. And it really worked wonderfully for us because everybody came and donated extra money at that time. My email blew up, and I receive all of the online e-transfers. And I was like, wow, look at these donations rolling in. But it was still too little too late for them. I mean, he looked like a hero by cheerleading for the food banks at that time, getting people to donate. But what he needed to do was he needed to step up and make change and, bring things forward. And it's just not happening.
Wow.
Tough.
Did that for other countries.
We were just laughing because we were thinking, I think we've heard that before in other, it seems like a familiar tune.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah.
Well, heartfelt thanks for what you do, Tammy.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Okay.
So, before we finish off the recording here, Tammy, thank you so much. This was, extremely informative. I've had the pleasure of, as you know, working with Sylvie and Karen as well. But, a couple personal stories that I can share with you. The first one, for the audience out there, you're one of the very few places that we found. For several years, we were raising chickens, and we would rarely be able to use all of the eggs that we were producing as a result. And we found it was extremely difficult, actually, because of regulations and everything else, to find someone who was actually willing to take our eggs.
Yeah.
When we had that overflow. And you folks were one of the very few sources we were able to find, and we thank you for affording us that opportunity. And I will put that plug into other egg farmers out there, that if there are overflow eggs, you have a source.
Okay.
So, and then the other one that I wanted to share as well, as I mentioned before, my family and a lot of the folks who actually helped us out with the Perth Polar Bear Plunge, and particularly the breakfast this year, are also folks that are among your fantastic volunteers. And I know the relationships that you're talking about that get established between the customer and the client and the volunteers is a really deep, precious one. And I'm reminded constantly of the fact that you are, the best of my knowledge, and I'm fairly confident I'm right in this, is you're the only one that provides a delivery service.
I think so.
And so there is your volunteers that bring the food to the client's house, particularly in COVID, and we still hear it today, are literally the one community lifeline that these individuals have. And through that relationship, the trust that exists there as well, the service that you're providing is way beyond just providing food. The service you're providing it reminds me of, we're hearing more and more, thankfully, about these sustainable development goals, the 17 sustainable development goals, and number 6 is food insecurity. And so it's great to hear that at least there is a little more conversation. You're right, there's a lot more that needs to be done, but you definitely provide a really vital service within our county and our community, and we certainly hope that we find more reason to connect and help our folks out. So thank you so much for that.
You're very, very welcome. It's totally our pleasure.
And so with that, for our studio audience, we will be taking a pause next month as rural FASD has its annual general meeting. Of course, the public is always invited to come and join us and hear what we've been up to this past year and where we're currently at and where our goals are for next year. And then we will pick up our speaker series again in March. We look forward to seeing you all there.